Hey guys, today we're going to be going over whether Nick Spencer learned his lesson from the dumpster fire that was Secret Empire. And I will be reviewing Amazing Spider-Man number 1 and number 2 to answer that question. Let's get into it. That's my intro music, guys. Alright, Amazing Spider-Man number 1 and Amazing Spider-Man number 2, or Legacy number 802 and 803, because of course Dan Slott couldn't leave at issue 800. No. He had to stay until issue 801. Make sure he got his mark on Spider-Man complete. So the real question here is, how good is Nick Spencer at writing Spider-Man? We've seen how he is at writing Captain America. He turned him into a Nazi, so my conclusion is he's not very good at writing Captain America, because guess what? Captain America is not a Nazi. Now, I know some of you guys are going to say, well, you haven't read Secret Empire, so how do you know it's truly that bad? Because I know Captain America, and Captain America would never, ever, I don't care what version, he would never say, Hail Hydra. Unless, of course, it was like one of those Red Sun deals, like Superman Red Sun, where he was actually born in, or, crashed and landed in the Soviet Union, and Cap had actually landed and crashed or whatever, and been raised in Germany, then maybe, sure. But even going down to the core of who Captain America is, he would have been one of the Germans that said, Hitler, we are not following you today. No way. Nick Spencer obviously disagreed with that. Nick Spencer is kind of a jerk face when it comes to interacting with fans, by the way. I have never had any personal dealings with him because I don't have Twitter, and I would never have any reason to interact with him. But I have heard plenty of stories where he attacks fans for having opinions of their own. And that is not cool. So I'm going to go ahead and unbag these bad boys and show you guys how he did on The Amazing Spider-Man. Alright, starting off with the oversized issue of Amazing Spider-Man number 1. One of the last titles to be launched from Fresh Start. We start off with a nice scene with Peter Parker still in his symbiote suit from fighting, from his fight with the Red Goblin. Let's zoom that in just a bit more. There we go. Very nice. Alright, so he takes her up to the top of the Empire State Building, shows her the beautiful sunrise. And that's about the best scene in the entire book, right off the bat. It goes through his troubles with his roommate, which, if you guys have roommates, I assume you have had some run-ins with them at one time or another. All my friends that I know who have roommates have said that roommates is definitely not the easiest thing. So, we get, right off the bat, it's clear that Nick Spencer is going to be writing that Peter Parker that has kind of been around for the past 10 or so-ish years, where he's much more of the jokester, much more of the, everything is a joke kind of guy, instead of the more serious, immature Tobey Maguire type of Spider-Man from the early 2000s Spider-Man films. This is more of kind of the Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield type of Spider-Man. I'd say it's closest to Tom Holland, like if Tom Holland was older. But there are still aspects of Andrew Garfield in here. Not very much of Tobey Maguire. And I base all of my Spider-Man reviews and critiques off of the movies, because that is what I know the best. Those movies are really the main reason that I am into Spider-Man. And then it got my friends into Spider-Man, and then we just went and, of course, learned about all the little Spider-Man stuff and all the comics and everything. But that's still what we base our Spider-Man critiques and stuff off of. So Of course, it wouldn't be a first issue if you didn't see the Avengers, Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. And then you get, where did he go? I thought I saw Human Torch. He's in here, but you have Daredevil, The Thing, She-Hulk, Black Panther, Old Man Logan. I don't know what the heck all these guys are doing, fighting the same battle. I mean, this kind of looks just like a job for one or two of them. And then you even get the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Hawkeye, and every other name in the book. Look, you even have Iron Fist. So apparently this is outside of all current Marvel continuity, because I know for a fact that all of these characters are busy with other things. Even so, that's one thing that's a little complicated about comics is, say you read Action Comics and then you read Detective Comics and they came out at the same exact time. That Detective Comics might star Superman, and he's totally not in the middle of whatever is going on in Action Comics. That's just kind of how comics have to work, so that you can have multiple titles with the same character. So, you know, you have Superman that's following one story, you have Action Comics which is following another story, and they don't precisely coincide. They kind of just ignore that the other one is going on. But even just at this level where literally all the super... So the SD card battery ran out. So I'm not exactly sure where I left off. So that's probably why the image looks a little bit different now. And the audio probably sounds a little bit different because I'm using my phone now. So I don't really exactly remember where it cut off. I didn't really see where it happened. So I'll just go back a little bit. I was critiquing the fact that all of these superheroes are in Manhattan at one time. Seriously. I mean, do they have nothing better? I mean, okay, yes, this is a big attack, apparently. But seriously, some of these guys have to be preoccupied doing something else. Come on. I mean, even Wolverine, who we haven't seen in forever, is there. Whatever. Anyway, so of course they beat the bad guys because SpiderMan... he didn't really... Is this... gosh, it's been a while since I actually read this. Because it came out so long ago. Yeah, okay. So, he flashes back to talking with Kingpin, who is now the mayor. And he... oh, that's it. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, so the story is just kind of jumping around here. So, the main story focuses, they're fighting these creatures, but then it's cutting to, apparently, there's a super good plagiarism software, and it found out that Parker's master thesis was in fact fraudulent. And it was in fact written by Dr. Otto Octavius when he took over Spider-Man's body, brain, everything in Superior Spider-Man, which I never read that story, so I was kind of like, well, okay, whatever you say, moving on. Here we get some good Daily Beagle stuff. I just saw this guy. He's got like no chin. That's hilarious. And then another good scene with Mary Jane and Peter. Peter's such a loser when it comes to interacting with Mary Jane. It's not even funny. Such a loser. This looks good, guys. Let me know if you read this. Let me know how it was. I want to know how that was. It looks good. So he goes home, tries to hide it from Aunt May, who of course already knows because she's Aunt May. And Peter's dumb for trying to hide it from her, even though he does the same thing over and over again. Anyway, back to fighting these creature thingies. They're still losing. Now everybody in his life is doubting him. His aunt doubts him. Mary Jane is feeling you know, like dirt because Peter Parker basically treats her like that. And of course, Robbie is, you know, sad because he had to fire his friend, even though he does have this sweet massage chair. So then Peter sees the hole that all these bugs are swarming out of, and as he's going up, you know, he's like, oh, you know, I can't let these people down. I need to do this. They've always been there for me and everything like that. So, okay, it was good. It was good for Spider-Man. You know, it was a good dialogue, so Nick Spencer did a good job there. Anyway, we come to find out, spoiler, it's Mysterio behind the whole thing. I love this art by Ryan Ottley. Yeah, Ottley. It looks great. It kind of reminds me a bit of Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man, who is the Spider-Man that I kind of grew up with in the comics. Especially that webbing really looks like McFarlane's stuff. Oh, and then we get this scene with some smoochy between Peter and Mary Jane. And then we have all of the credits and everything, and Nick Lowe giving us a little spiel. A commercial for the West Coast Avengers, which looks absolutely horrible. And then we get some after credit stuff, just look kind of insight to Mysterio. And that was a really good scene, actually. I actually really enjoyed this Mysterio bit. And I'm not really going to go through it all, but you can just look at that art. That art alone is fantastic. And the story was good too. He's like having this weird trippy nightmare while he's in court. And I don't know, he's losing his mind, I guess. Or he's pretending like he is. And then we cut back to this little scene with Peter right before it ends. Oh, look at this. Lizard is now a teacher with all these kids who are sitting there perfectly normal. Wow, why? Wow, that's so random. Can't believe I didn't see that coming. Let's look at this nice big spread instead. Look at that, guys. Very nice. Very, cartoony, which I kind of like, but, you know, a friend did point out that you can definitely tell all of this was drawn on a computer. It looks like it was just snapshots, screenshots of a Spider-Man cartoon, which for me is alright because I really do enjoy cartoons, mainly of any kind. But for a comic book, this actually does not feel like comic book art. It feels like animation art. So depending on who you are, you might not like that as well. I like it less than, say, you know, hand-drawn stuff like the Jim Lee stuff. It definitely does not look as good as that. But I think it looks okay for this. It you know, does its purpose. So anyway, that was The Amazing Spider-Man #1. I'd give it a 6 out of 10, maybe. It wasn't terrible, and there was some good dialogue, and the art was good. It was like, alright. First issues, you know, coming out swinging, it's going to be, you know, good. Pretty good. So yeah, 6 out of 10. And now I'll go ahead and do Amazing Spider-Man #2. So this is The Amazing Spider-Man #2. Regular sized issue this time. And the cover looks really cool, you know. The lizard is all up in Spider-Man's face, getting ready to bite his head off. It makes me want to read the story, you know. It makes me want to find out what happened. So that's some great cover art. All this intro stuff, I'm just gonna skim over. I do like how they have the Spider-Man created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko all in its own box. And this was before Steve Ditko passed away, actually. So this came out a couple months ago, actually. But just getting to it now. So it starts with Poachers, and it explains this a little bit more later, but that was, kind of it was a very sad scene to start off with, but that's, kind of good because it gets you interested in the story. Then we get, he's just fighting some B-list, even C-list, honestly. I haven't heard of any of these guys before, so definitely C-list villains, bad guys. This, I hate this, the way that they write Spider-Man, that Nick Spencer's writing Spider-Man in this book. You just saw Amazing Spider-Man #1, where it wasn't horrible. But this, man, a 2-for-1 deal, man, I am a sucker for those. You get an extra one, and it's free. I'll take these. Sound the house, Spidey. Hey, appreciate that independent bookseller guy. It's just stupid. Don't mention it. And if you get paroled, maybe we can book club it. I'll bring brownies. You just gotta promise. No more robbery, homicide shenanigans. Okay, he just literally said that they committed homicide. That is not how you talk to a freaking murderer, alright? You are... This is just such a weak person to talk to a murderer that way. Golly. Alright, some more Peter, Mary Jane, drama type stuff. I mean, it's all good, and, go get him, Tiger, yada, yada, yada. I doubt this will last. I really do. And then the stupidest part in this whole book. Okay, everyone, don't panic. So he walks in, and of course, Lizard's teaching the class. Okay, everyone, don't panic. Experienced supervillain attack person here. Find your nearest exit. Make yourself big on the way out. He's more afraid of you than you are. Hey, do you people hear me? Stop, drop, and roll. That's the Lizard up there. Gosh. If this did not cost me $4, I would rip this thing in half. So dumb. Let's see. So, then of course, like everybody today, he can control his power. So, Hulk, no longer a raging monster of uncontrollable anger. He can control it now, because he has some kind of secret, I'm always angry type stuff. Which, actually, that scene is super cool in the first Avengers, but then Age of Ultron completely wrecks it. And then, it was fine in Thor Ragnarok, I guess, but then, in his stupid Avengers Infinity War, where Hulk refuses to come out, and what? It's so dumb. Same thing here. He can control Lizard now. Whatever. Doesn't make it as cool and unpredictable, but whatever. He has this inhibitor chip, which, as you will see, of course, it's the most predictable thing ever. So yeah, they're having some good... So, these eyes that Ryan Otley's doing, sorry, I'm just going to talk about the art real quick. This whole... The art looks a lot like the Spectacular Spider-Man art, which I really liked. So it's like Spectacular Spider-Man mixed with Ultimate Spider-Man art. Both those are really great cartoons that have fantastic art. So I'm okay with the art, looking like it's a cartoon. I know for some of you older comic book readers out there, you like more of the, you can tell it's hand drawn and stuff like that. But I'm okay with this, looking like it was screenshotted from a cartoon. I'm okay with that. It's not my favorite. I definitely like hand drawn stuff better, but it's all right. So then you get Taskmaster and whoever the heck this is being complete goobers because they're useless now. They used to actually, especially Taskmaster, you used to be afraid of that guy. You used to get a shiver up your spine when you saw him. Now it's kind of like, okay, whatever, doofus, do what you do, your thing. Flashback to Spider-Man getting bit. Okay, done with. So he turns back into the Lizard to try and fight these guys, but of course the inhibitor chip doesn't let him use any of his powers for aggression. Wouldn't you know? So anyway, Peter comes up with this quick scheme to cause a big smoke bomb, and then he changes really fast, and he takes down the bad guys. This is the weirdest part ever. So Spider-Man just gets done fighting these guys, and then he's like, "But I guess I'll be getting along since it looks like everyone is okay. Well, almost everybody. Here, pal, let me give you a hand up. Hey, wait a sec. I know you. You're Peter Parker, and you're Spider-Man. Da 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 da. Okay. Do you get it? Do you get it? Spider-Man somehow. Somebody else is in the Spider-Man suit. They're trying to make it look like they're two different guys. Like this hasn't been tried before. Okay. Oh, look. And then they're gonna fight. I didn't see that one coming. So I think they're gonna try and do this whole Spider-Gen thing where people are getting bit by this radioactive spider somehow, and it's turning them into Spider-Man. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not getting issue 3. I canceled my subscription to this book because, first and foremost, I'm running very low on money. Especially now that college has started, I need as much money as possible. Secondly, I don't feel like spending $4 every month on this. I would much rather put it towards a good DC book, because DC actually has good books. So anyway, yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for Amazing Spider-Man number 1 and number 2. Ugh, there we go. So to answer the question, did Nick Spencer learn his lesson? Yes and no. Yes, he is keeping Spider-Man the same as he's been the last 10 years, but no, he's not staying true to Spider-Man's core character. Now, to be fair, neither had Dan Slott over the past 10 years, but Spencer's not making it better. However, he's not making it worse, at least right now. We'll see in the future issues. I'll just watch reviews on it, but in terms of following this series month by month, I think I'm good. So anyway, that's gonna do it for this review, this 2-in-1. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think of the Amazing Spider-Man series, what you think about Nick Spencer, and I will see you guys in the next review. See ya.